back for seconds because the bee beckons. It's Rhyme and Reason 926.
Here's your rhyme and reason. Oh, yeah.
Hey there, Tony here. And I don't know about you, but when it comes to cow secretions and bee vomit, yum, yum. I'll be going back for seconds. How about you? Oh, yeah. But before I explain that, here's my one desire as I'm going to share a little something with you today, and that would be, let my teaching drop as the rain, my speech distill as the dew, as raindrops on the tender herb, and as showers on the grass. That comes out of the Bible, by the way. I don't take any credit for that pleasant prose because it was written by Mo very many years ago. Written by Mo many years ago. I said, written by Mo many years ago. You know, it was written by Mo many... All right, never mind. Who's Mo, right? You're saying, who's Mo? Well, Mo was the one who put the dude in Deuteronomy. He was inspired by God to give an account of how the nation of Israel came to be and how that nation was God's chosen people who actually betrayed him, God, repeatedly. Over and over, that means. And the prose that I just shared comes from a section in Deuteronomy known as the Song of Moses. There's the Mo. What's that? You didn't know Moses was a poetic guy? Yeah, a songwriter? Yeah, you learn something new every day, right? And now you know he's the guy called Mo. So, what does any of this have to do with me coming back for seconds when it comes to cow secretions and bee vomit? I know, you got back around to that. Well, imagine for a second that you're in a desert land, and it's quite the understatement to call it a terrible place, because it's a terrible, terrible place. Because you have virtually no hope of getting out. No food, no water, no shelter, and no idea which way to go. But then, out of the blue, a ghost appears and leads you to food. In fact, you walk into fields of juicy, tasty produce. Not only that, but the ghost shows you how to get honey and good fats right out of the ground. If all that happened to you, you'd probably think you just hit the best lottery ever, right? Okay, well now imagine that the scenario I just shared isn't actually make-believe because the ghost is a real person. And the story I just told is based on a true story found in the Bible. It's about how God took a man named Jacob and made him into a nation. And that nation is Israel. And the story I told you to imagine goes like this. He found him in a desert land, and in the wasteland, a howling wilderness. He encircled him, he instructed him, he kept him as the apple of his eye. As an eagle stirs up its nest, hovers over its young, spreading out its wings, taking them up, carrying them on its wings, so the Lord alone led him, and there was no foreign god with him. He made him ride in the heights of the earth. That he might eat the produce of the fields, he made him draw honey from the rock and oil from the flinty rock. Now I got to ask you, if somebody did all that for you, would you betray him? Well, my guess is, on some level, you probably would. Because on some level, we all have. And that's because of the lowest common denominator we all have, selfishness. Somewhere inside you is your desire to be your own king, to handle everything your way. Your way. And you either fight against that desire or you give in. Most give in. That kind of reminds me of these lyrics from The Who. Remember the rock band The Who, especially from the 70s? They had, out here in the fields, I fight for my meals. I get my back into my living. And I don't need to fight to prove I'm right. I don't need to be forgiven. Yeah. Don't cry. Don't raise your eye. It's only teenage wasteland. Remember that song? Did you catch that whole selfish concept of I don't need to be forgiven? But even though Pete Townsend didn't realize it at the time, it's actually that kind of selfishness that keeps you in the wasteland. It keeps you in the desert. But there is a way out of that desert and into the land of cow secretions and bee vomit. Oh no, he went back there. I keep saying that to poke fun at the so-called nutrition influencers. Their descriptions of milk and honey, they call it cow secretions and bee vomit. But God inspired Mo, remember Moses, he inspired him to call the promised land the land of milk and honey. And that was a description meant to entice, not repulse. And if God says something is good, it's good. Period. It is good. If God says it is, it is. And this is just one of the many reasons why the Bible is the best-selling book of all time. And I'm convinced that if you read it with an open mind and heart, it will change your teenage wasteland heart to one full of love and purpose and focus. Plus, I believe you'll love the amazing force of life you can feel. When you know you're going to live forever in paradise anyway. And don't be surprised, once you've discovered the truth I'm talking about, how you'll want to go back for seconds, and thirds, and fourths, and fifths, etc. Dig deep and find the treasures for your heart. The Bible is the perfect place to start. And as the words unfold, revealing love and gold, the life God gave you never will depart. But I'm going to depart for now. Well, as soon as I get you to go on over to TonyFunderburk.com and jump on the Rhyme and Reason bandwagon, I think you should be a part of the growing band of believers who want to show the whole world that life has rhyme and reason because God is real.
There's a rhyme and reason for your life. There's a rhyme and reason why you're here. Give your time and season to the